Before we dive in, I want to say this up front. Confidence is not something you either have or don't have. It's not a personality trait, and it's definitely not something that you wait for. Confidence is an energy and a vibe and a feeling that comes from experience, and normally that experience involved feeling nervous, feeling unsure, or feeling incredibly unprepared, but getting through that experience to the other side, which gives you the confidence to go, oh, wow, I've done that, which means I can do that again or something else again. I learned this lesson the hard way. One of the most confronting confidence moments of my entire life happened the very first time I did a stand-up set in New York at the New York Comedy Club. I was so excited. Bright lights, famous club, massive audience. The only thing is, I was not the person that I am today, and I didn't have the skills or the lessons or the insights, and oh my gosh, I froze. I was so nervous, and I did everything that I do not recommend these days. I learned my set, I memorized everything, and I wrote bullet points on the inside of my hand just in case, I needed to refer to them. And I was going over and over and over and over and over, and I was so nervous, and I was just running the content through my mind. I get up on stage, I say my first joke, and then I have a blank. I was so nervous that my body and my brain just disconnected, and I am standing there like a deer in headlights, and I cannot remember anything. Can't remember any joke I'd ever written. Can't even remember my name, like complete blank. Panicking so hard, I looked down at my hand to try to look at my refresher notes, and I was sweating so hard that it was just this giant smudge mark. So I looked around at the room and I locked eyes with one of my friends who was there, and I just took a breath. And thankfully, in that moment of becoming present in that breath, all of my jokes eventually came flooding back. So I finished the set and people laughed, and objectively it went well, but I walked off stage convinced that it was the worst thing I had ever done, and that moment traumatized me for months. I would be brushing my teeth completely calm, and suddenly my body, my mind would just replay that freeze moment. Same panic, same dread. It was just crazy. And I didn't freeze because I wasn't talented. I didn't freeze because the content wasn't good. They were incredible jokes, hilarious actually. But I froze because my focus was completely in the wrong spot. It was on me when it should have been on my audience and the experience that I was creating. I was so nervous that all I was thinking about were my jokes, my lines, my timing, my performance. Do they like me? Am I good enough? Am I wearing the right clothes? Am I going to bomb? You see, when our attention is focused inwards, our confidence evaporates, because confidence doesn't come when we're monitoring ourselves. There's no space or room to actually develop it. It comes when we're actually creating true connections. And when we make the mindset shift of going, this isn't about me. And if I focus so much on myself, I can't actually be present with those in front of me. So we need to take the focus and the spotlight off us and put it entirely on the person I'm with, the people in front of me, the room I'm presenting to or delivering stand-up to. That mindset shift is critical. Because the truth is, it's never about us. Whether it's comedy or speaking or you're running a meeting, it's always about what message are you sharing and what experience are you creating. The most confident communicators, they're not thinking, how do I sound? How do I look? What if I mess this up? When I step on stage now, I'm thinking, how do I make this experience as awesome as possible? How do I connect with the people in front of me right now? What do they need in this moment? And how do I make it as valuable as possible? And the moment that I locked eyes with my friend in the New York Comedy Club, my focus shifted away from me. And that is the exact moment that the confidence came back. We think confidence comes from control, more preparation, more scripting, more rehearsing, more polishing. But over control increases our anxiety, and it's actually a trap. Because if we're so focused on a pattern and a routine and a structure that we need to move through, if we forget one part like I did, then the whole thing unravels. Because in those experiences, we're trying to manage ourselves instead of actually being in the moment and meeting the audience where they're at. And when we're focused on trying to manage and control things, that's when we blank, we overthink, we rush, and we lose our natural flow. So if you want to communicate with confidence, especially if you're feeling nervous, shift your focus to 3 key places. Number 1 is focus on the audience, not yourself. Instead of asking, how am I doing? Start asking, how are they responding? And then that will open the door to insight into what do they need and how do I pivot and adjust what I'm doing so that we can have this incredible experience together. Number 2 is focus on the experience, not the outcome. You're never there to lead a meeting, to present some information, to be perfect. You're there to create something meaningful and valuable. And number 3 is focus on the moment, not the script. Scripts are helpful but true presence is the most powerful thing. When you focus on creating an incredible experience for others, naturally it helps in so many ways. It takes the spotlight off you, which means there's going to be less stress and anxiety that you're actually putting on yourself. And in the process, you're going to be creating the best experience for whoever is in front of you. Naturally, when we're focused on the audience, we're asking, how can I connect? How can I be generous with what I'm offering? How can I give this room exactly what they need right now? And when you do that, you stop performing at people and you start truly communicating and connecting with them. So if you've ever frozen, if you've ever blanked, if you've ever doubted yourself mid-sentence, let me tell you this, there is nothing wrong with you and nothing has gone wrong. Your confidence did not disappear, it was just your focus was in the wrong area. So remember the mindset shift of taking the spotlight off you and shining it on your audience, your room, whoever you're in a conversation with, because it's going to create a much more dynamic, vibrant, and meaningful experience for everyone. And that's the exact experience you need to give you the confidence to know that you can do more and do better and be a little bit more courageous next time. So many of the moments that absolutely nearly shattered me ended up building every single thing that came next. If you want the full stories, the failures, the flops, the biggest disasters that have happened in my stage and comedy career, they are all inside my latest and fourth book called The Little Book of Influence. To learn more about the book, there is a link in the show notes below. Catch you next episode.